Goenka of the BJP, Gaurav Gupta, Advocate Supreme Court, Madhaw Anand, political analyst, and we also have on our OB connection, Monojit Mandal, political commentator, joining us. Let me begin this with Gaurav Gupta. Gaurav, if you see what Arthur was telling us, it's an absolute breakthrough because ED has been able to get the proceeds of crime, which till now was a huge missing link.
You're absolutely right. What you're putting out is very significant. Although I don't know if the ED has formally filed this as a part of the ECIR or the charge sheet, as they say, it's sort of a charge sheet for the ED. Whether they've actually filed it, of course, if you're putting it out, it has to be very credible. And
no, we do have the documents, and we're in possession of some of those, except that we cannot put that out for the benefit of Arthur, of course.
So, of course, see, I began by saying that what you're putting out is very significant. If the ED has recovered all of this, it's extremely serious, has to be looked into very expeditiously. And that's the good thing with ED proceedings. These are time-bound proceedings. And I hope and pray that justice prevails in this matter and this is brought to a conclusion as soon as possible.
Oh, absolutely. And let me just quickly get in Jayasiran, our reporter, joining us on this broadcast as well. Jayasiran, the big exclusive that Arthur has broken is bound to have serious political repercussions as well at the end of the day.
Well, that's right. I mean, there was a huge uproar there in Parliament when this actually got revealed in 2012. If you remember, the BJP, of course, stalled the proceedings of both houses of Parliament, alleging that the Congress, in fact, was involved in the deal, because that was when, the name of Sonia Gandhi and Ahmed Patel, of course, cropped up during the course of the investigation there in Italy.
Yes.
And that, of course, came as a kind of a God-given opportunity. And now, a charge sheet has been filed. Now, new revelations have actually started tumbling out. So, which means that the agencies will have to file some supplementary charge sheets as well. But if this case were to reach fruition and if the verdict were to be delivered before 2019, that of course could be huge as well. Remember, in 2014 it was Modi, who came to power on the plank of, fighting corruption.
Yes.
And now once again, if, the Congress bigwigs and top bureaucrats were to get convicted, by a court of law ahead of 2019, that of course could be another shot in the arm, and that too very timely for the Modi government. So we'll have to see how this plays out in the coming days and months.
Absolutely. Goenka. Yes, of course, this has political repercussions as far as the BJP is concerned, but it's a breakthrough in the investigation because, as I said, there have not only been found 3 new people, key players. ED has been able to establish the proceeds of crime. We have the entire details of how the money changed colors, and that, of course, is going to have a huge significance as far as the investigation is concerned.
See, I think I should congratulate the ED officials who have done it. But if you can see, the trail goes beyond these names which you have taken. Because there are certain acronyms which were used and which have to be now identified. Who is this AP? What does it mean by FAM, that is family? Who is this Anthony mentioned in all these papers? So these are certain acronyms. So if you see, apart from Omar Abdullah, the 2 brothers from the Saudi, Anurag, there are other people like Tyagi, Sandeep Tyagi, Sanjeev Tyagi, Raju Tyagi. All these people have to be done. And let me bring 3 facts for the knowledge of the audience who are here.
Right.
One, there was a technical specification was changed and dangerously changed from 6,000 meters to 4,500, which is actually...
Which we spoke about, yes.
Number 2, Sarkozy actually had quoted 2228, that is 2,228 crore rupees for the entire deal, whereas Agusta Westland was given a contract for 3,726 crore rupees.
Yes.
You see, whooping 1,500 crore rupees more than the lowest bidder.
Yes.
So who decided that and what was the reason has to be identified.
Okay.
And there was one more gentleman who travelled 300 times to India between 1997 to 2013. Now we have to identify who this gentleman who travelled 300 times from Saudi to India. Those 300 trips are also all questionable.
We have put out 2 Saudi links right here on this investigation and details of which Arthur shared. Madhav, this is, of course, as I said, A, it's a breakthrough. B, it means that now there is a concrete detail as far as where did the money go, where did the money come from, and look at how the money was laundered and changed hands. It was the brokerage firm is based out of Pusa Road right here in New Delhi. A couple of KYC forms signed and bang, the money changes colors.
Yeah, out of many scams during the UPA regime, this was one of the biggest scam, I can say. And it came into the public domain in 2013. And even the then Defense Minister, A.K. Antony, on 25th March 2013, he clearly told, he accepted that the bribe has been given for this deal. So there is a clear evidence, and there was a nexus between the bureaucrats, the big politician, cross ministries, I can say. So there is enough evidence. Now it's a time for the current government, they should, that means, investigate the entire matter at the, that means, taking the minimum time, because, and I can say there will be political repercussion also, because it's election time now. So I don't know what is the reason behind why that means government has, ED has revealed all these things. So there will be political repercussion.
No, ED hasn't revealed. You have to give credit to our reporter.
NewsX,
and you have to give credit to
so that credit goes to the NewsX.
Yes.
That credit goes to the NewsX. But there is a clear evidence, I can say, and proper investigation should be done at the government level. And I am very much hopeful there is a lot of the big person who all were involved in this scam.
Okay. Atir, I want to ask you, before I go across to Monajit Mandal as well, political commentator from Kolkata, tell us now, where does the investigation go from here? This is the internal report of the ED that you've accessed details of. Where does the investigation go from now? Because, you know, you've identified SMC trading, you've identified the account, you've identified the amount, the corpus of trading that was taking place. I'm sure there must be details of the stocks and equities where that money must have gone. What happens from now?
You see, the agencies are now looking at the fresh perspective, you know, something which has not been explored so far by even the CBI or any other agency. So this is a one solid lead which can take them, you know, miles. And, you know, the buck doesn't stop there. Just a few people, you know, the former CBI, former Air Chief SP Tyagi has been caught, Gautam Khaitan has been arrested, but there were not many people who were involved in of a deal of this magnitude, and therefore they should also be exposed and you know, brought to book. So that is the process which has now started in a very, very strong way, and they will be looking into the role which have been played by Balsharaf brothers and Anurag Podar, who's been evading, and a non-bailable warrant has been issued against him. So these people will now be brought, they will be questioned to find out who were the people behind them, who were the high and mighty on whose instance they were operating. Okay, we'll talk of more on that. Dinesh Vashne, CPI spokesperson, and Monajit Mandal. Okay, first to Monajit Mandal. Monajit, you've been listening, and you know, you've been listening to the broadcast. We've put out all those exclusive details of the ED internal report. The investigation now goes on a completely different track, as Arthur was pointing out. Not only are details now available of the proceeds of crime, details are available of how money changed colors, details are now available of 3 new players which were not known till now. Incumbent now that ED should complete the probe in a time-bound manner. How hopeful are you that now the guilty will be brought to book in a time-bound manner?
No, first of all, definitely kudos to the team that, you know, trying to expose the whole matter, which is a very, very old case, as we know. In fact, one of my co-panelists rightly pointed out that this was first came to light in 2013, and the deal which was actually struck in 2010 during the UPA-2 government was annulled even 2013, because there was certainly some murky dealings in the whole matter. That's why the Dardan Defense Minister and the Prime Minister, they struck off the deal in 2013, which had been taken on in 2010. That's number one. And very interestingly, the point that we are trying to miss here is that in the last in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, an Italian court, the Court of Milan, had delivered a very interesting judgment. We all know that, you know. We are not talking about that judgment either, though Indian government is not bound by the judgment of the Court of Milan. But that judgment is a very interesting, a piece of evidence that should be looked into. We are forgetting that judgment delivered by the Court of Milan. But if you think about, whether I'm hopeful or not, it's very, very difficult to say at this moment whether the money trail will be traced or whether the money will come back. It's going to be the same as is happening with other money laundering cases, involving thousands of crores. I'm not hopeful about that. But interestingly, certainly,
money trail has been established.
Involved, big names from both politics and from,
The one thing I have learned from tracking
money
several...
trail has been established, but I am not sure whether the money will come
Mr.
back.
Mandal, the one thing I have learned from tracking several important scams,
I'm not sure whether the money will
2G,
come back.
is that money trail needs to be established. If money trail is established, that is the big breakthrough in investigation. Dinesh Varshney, money trail has been established. Where the money went as far as bribes are concerned has now been completely established. Do you agree? Mr. Varshney, is my voice reaching you, sir?
As and when the arms deals are concerned, it is a fact. Yeah, it is reaching.
Yes, go ahead,
It's
sir.
a fact that always the arms deals paid the high. Arms deal always paid the highest bribe ever in the world to each and every nation, wherever it is sold. And most of the nations are developing nations. The conflicts are maintained by these arms lobbies in the regions and among the nations and among the regions. The Agusta Westland deal was made in sometime in 2010 or 12 or 13, and since then we are hearing it. As and when election comes, this comes. Let the ED investigate it, and let the people of India really know it, who have really taken the bribe, And number two, similar type of allegations are there in the Rafale deal also. Similar type of aircraft with all those facilities and automation. Mediterranean nation has purchased less than 600 crore rupees than the Indian prices. We have got it. So this is a very sad thing. The government of India and ED should be very fast and should reveal all these things and arrest them. Put them behind bars. Put them behind bars. It is our money, people's money.
No, it is people's money.
People's money should come back to
that.
people.
Why this is significant?
That is why we are also of the opinion.
People's money, yes.
It is people's money. How it has changed colors, where it has changed colors, all those details have been brought to us.
There in the WikiLeaks, Panama Leaks and Paradise Paper must come out.
Okay. Vineet, I will give you a chance to respond. But as we were saying at the beginning of this broadcast, we have spoken to every player in this entire scam. We have spoken to an SMC official as well. Arthur Khan has done his due diligence completely. And which is why we will, of course, be putting out that conversation with the SMC senior executive, where he said that the company that has become implicated in the case, SMC Global, as we said, is a brokerage firm that is part of laundering of the money as far as proceeds of crime is concerned. Listen in to that exclusive conversation that Arthur Khan had with the senior executive at SMC Global.
We have with us Mr. Ashok Kumar Agarwal, who is the Compliance and Taxation Officers of SMC Global Securities. On this very important issue, sir, we need to get a clarification from you, because the Enforcement Directorate had carried out searches here and they've seized certain documents from your offices, and the searches were in connection with Agusta Westland case, and as you know, it's a highly sensitive case which is being dealt into. So what do you have to say about it?
I am not aware of the Agusta Khan. They have just come to us and asked certain documents relating to two of our clients, which we immediately provided them. And they have seized their accounts. That's all.
And so those two clients happen to be, as per our information from the sources, Omar and Abdullah Balsharaf. Now apparently they are from the UAE or Dubai they are operating. So how is it that, what sort of business do you have with them?
They are our client. They have ordered for the sale of shares, which we placed on the exchange system. So we have very limited role. So
since when are they dealing with you? Since how long?
It's a matter of record. I have to find out, but not more than 1 year.
Not more than 1 year? Okay. But sir, what is the due diligence that is done by you? Because these names are coming up. You must have done your due diligence before dealing with them.
Our team has done due diligence as per company policies. They have obtained all the documents and they have been provided to the ED. And that matter, so far to my knowledge, is sub judiciary. Our client has filed a writ petition in the High Court. So the matter is sub judice, therefore I cannot comment more on this.
You mean your client Umar and Abdullah Balsharaf, they have filed a petition in the High Court?
In the High Court. in the High Court.
Yeah. For against what, sir?
Against freeze order of their demat account and withheld of their money by the Bombay Stock Exchange.
And what is the ramification? What is the amount involved, sir, in this, if you can share? Since it is a very important matter.
They have sold shares about 380 crores, worth 380 crores.
380 crores. And what is the nature of business of this Umar Bal Sharaf, sir? What kind of business does he do, if you can enlighten us?
I'm not aware of that.
Let me also share with you, you see the Enforcement Directorate investigation. Now what is happening is, it's a very crucial lead which they have got and they're working on it. What it does is, it connects the Mauritius and Dubai links of the kickbacks in which your client is figuring. You know, what do you have to say about it?
No comment.
Have you ever dealt with a person called Mr. Anurag Poddar, who is also required in the investigations?
It's readily I cannot tell. I have to check my records. We have number of clients running in lakhs.
So you are saying, sir, that SMC Global Securities has got nothing to do with Agusta Westland deal or kickbacks. That's what you say?
Yeah, we have nothing to do with the whatsoever is doing Agusta deal or something like that. Our relationship is very limited to them. They have come for us as a client to deal in shares, which they acquired in around 2003.
Right. Okay. So have you also taken any legal recourse, or you are just cooperating with the agency?
They are just cooperating with the agency. They have just come twice to us and asked for certain documents which we have provided. They have not put any question against us regarding Augusta or anything.
All right, the big exclusive right here being broken. That, of course, was a conversation that Atir Khan had with the senior executive at SMC Global, where a part of that money was laundered and then used to invest in shares. Okay, Vineet, you had a point to make. Yes.
If you see, I'll take three cases, be it be the Bofors case, where the lead goes to Italy, or be it be the Marines who were there who killed Indian fishermen and then ran away, that went to this RC and the red corner notice which has been given against Michel and Gerosa both, they come from Italy. And the mentions which is there about the family, does it lead to somebody who is from Congress, and does it lead to the Gandhi family? That has to be investigated, and probably the authority should come out and clear these names.
Okay.
Because the doubt which goes because it cannot be possible that only the chief of air staff can change the technical specification and get this done. It has to be more than that, because this kind of decisions are not taken by one or two people. So you just change the specification from 6,000 meters to 4,500 and the deal goes through.
So yes,
there is a group of ministers.
There are political implications.
Yeah, so,
of course there is a
and
political
there are few
narrative.
names which have already been taken out. So I don't.
No, there are some initials that we will talk about that as well. But
who is this AP? That AP has to be identified, and all this names have to be.
There was involvement of a lot of ministries also, because one ministry cannot take a decision. Like Ministry of Defence, the involvement of Ministry of Finance, the involvement of Ministry of Defence, the involvement of the Ministry of Commerce, and there is a nexus between the cross ministries, I can say.
Okay.
It's not a small deal. It's not a small deal.
Of course, it's
yeah.
And those days they used to have GOM, group of ministers.
Yes.
So in fact,
Ministers,
without that, so there he is, the Prime Minister, then Manmohan Singh is answerable, because this would have been taken under his cabinet,
and they have
he would have known about this.
So that is
it is not possible without his knowledge.
Agency to find out what is the code word.
Okay.
If they have used the code word like AK or something, whatever, so that's the responsibility of the agency to find out who is the real.
Gaurav, I want to ask you, from a legal point of view, we've said that it's a massive breakthrough. We've said that details are now being found of the exact nature of the money, where it has reached, the routes through which it has reached. Where does investigation go from here?
Two things. One is to answer your question, where does the investigation go from here? Once they have a charge sheet of sorts, which for ED is called the ECIR, once they have it in place, they'll file a case under Section 3 and 4 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act before a special judge.
Yes.
And they'll initiate the prosecution. That's one. Parallelly alongside, they can also attach properties, provisionally though, of the value of the proceeds of crime. Those are the two options available to the ED as far as the case is concerned. That's the first aspect. Second aspect which I want to make before we go forward is, see, it doesn't bode very well or speak very well of the investigating authorities if they've taken 5 years to put out this information. More so because of the reason that the longer this persists, the longer the narrative and the speculation continues to build up, and we'll see irresponsible statements coming from all quarters, and we must behave responsibly. If all of these facts, allegations are borne out from the record of the ED, if the ED is charging someone, if the ED is speculating or hinting at something, then we must make accusations against people and not speculate. All of this is in the realm of speculation.
Right, it is. Okay, Atir, I want to ask you a question, and then of course also the point that you're making, which is that the sense one gets is the moment it enters a trading account, then it just goes on in terms of equity investments, in terms of share purchases. Is that money now, can that be recovered by ED, or has that money, whatever maybe the corpus of the size that SMC Global was operating, has that been completely now lost, so to say?
You see, the ED has got enormous powers now. It has got more powers than, I would say, any other agencies in terms of seizures and getting back money is concerned. It has more powers than CBI, I would say. But to answer the question, that it has taken them a lot of time. You see, the CBI was looking into the corruption angle.
Of course.
And ED, mainly in this particular case, the money trail is the most important. It's like motive in a murder case.
Of course.
So if you establish the money trail, which in this case has taken long. Remember, I told you the accused in this case were making a mockery that the Indian investigating agencies will never be able to reach to our footprints. But now there is a turnaround. You see, there's a turning point, and it has taken them a while, but surely and gradually they're moving towards it. So I would give it to them for getting these fresh leads and working on it.
What about the money? Can that be recovered?
Well, most certainly. Why not? The money in this case, particular case, the Balsharaf brothers share trading money, which is almost more than 350 crores, has been frozen.
So 350 crores is what SMC Global was trading on behalf of these Balsharaf brothers.
That's what we have been told by the SMC about their trading with the...
And that can be recovered?
Of course, why not?
Okay. Okay, now let's now just play out another exclusive conversation. NewsX has tried reaching out to Omar Balsharaf. Remember, we have done every leg of our investigation, due diligence completely before putting out these very, very sensational and important set of facts. Now, NewsX has tried speaking to Omar Balsharaf, the main new lead we have in the case. Let's listen in to what we found, how Arthur Khan did try to, of course, reach out to this new player. Listen in.
Dial number.
So we have been trying Omar Ali Balsharaf's number several times. We have tried, but he's not picked up the phone. The bell is ringing, but he's not taking calls, apparently from India, it seems. He had told the Enforcement Directorate, which had approached him to understand from him the transactions which happened. Now, what he has done is that he had told the Enforcement Directorate that his younger brother, Muhammad Balsharaf, is going to appear before the Enforcement Directorate and give the version, provide all the necessary information required by the Enforcement Directorate in the investigation of Agusta Westland case. He has, we have learnt, filed a petition, writ petition in the High Court seeking a revocation of the freezing order of Enforcement Directorate of trading of his shares, either selling or transferring of his shares, which were being handled by SMC Global Securities. But he's yet to give a clarification and explanation as to how he got money into a company's account, and the ledger was in his personal account, and some 14 companies had put in money into that company's account, which was parked in his personal ledger. So that explanation he still needs to give. With camera person Manish Kher, Arthur Khan in Delhi. for NewsX.
So we tried reaching out to Omar Ali Balsharaf, the main new player that we have put out for our viewers today in the investigation. Okay, yes, Vineet, you were making a point, then I want to go across to Monojit Mandal and Dinesh.
So you, before the clip was played, you were asking about the money part. In June 2014, Indian government has already recovered 2,068 crore rupees, which is also 1,620 crore rupees, which was paid to them. So in June 2014, the money was recovered as far as the government of India is concerned. Now this money is the bribe money which has gone, or the multiplication which has arrived out of the transactions which has happened there. So they would have invested the money there. So I think ED has a provision of attaching the transactions which are going on right now.
Don't think it would have been recovered.
Yeah.
2068 has been
I would like to add 45% of the total contract amount has been recovered from the Augusta Westland.
In total, 45% was 3,600 crore rupees.
Okay.
Exactly. Total contract.
Exactly.
So 45% comes to 2068 was recovered.
The question I'm asking is that, as Arthur, our reporter, was saying, that the money that was being put in the trading account, 350 odd crore rupees, has been frozen, and that money, which rightfully belongs to the people of this country, will come back. So massive breakthrough and massive progress in the case.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
It's good if the money come back, but the ED record is not very good. It's good if the money come back fast and it is being brought back to the Indian coffers, government coffers. But the ED record, track record is not good in India. I am very sorry, it is subjective also many times. It is subjective.
I agree with you. This is the first time the ED was given free hands by Modi ji, and I think they have proved it. It never happened in Bofors, it never happened in other deals, maybe whatever happened in the Bhopal gas scandal also, where everywhere the accused were helped by agencies. But this is probably the first government which has given free and fair hand to the agencies. You see, I would also like to mention the initials which were there in the diary with the amount which was paid. AF was paid euro 6 million, BUR was paid euro 8.4 million, POL was paid euro 6 million. Now this AP was paid euro 3 million. Now these are the notes which were there in the notes which were recovered there. So now this will actually come up, I think, the moment the investigation go up.
And then I'll go across to Monojit Mandal. Yes.
Sorry, I don't really know how the money would have been recovered, so to speak.
Because bank guarantees were harnessed. The bank guarantees were broken
in cash.
Okay, so amount is 2068 was recovered in June 2014. So that the government of India has done that, which was actually 45% of the total deal amount.
Okay, Monojit Mandal, that's the big question that we are asking.
So this is the first time we got the money back, and also we established the
money trade established. Chances of money now coming back to the people of this country are very, very high.
No, the problem is that we are dealing with foreign nationals. How do we enforce Indian laws on them? That is the
RCN has been issued.
Forget about the foreign nationals. We are even unable to bring our own people back. We are even unable to bring our own people back from London or Paris like Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi. That is the problem. It's all fine to say that the money trail has been traced, everything. We know what the culprit is.
You will agree to me one thing. This is the first time in a case where there was a scam, money trail has been established. This is the first time RCN has been issued. This is the first time bank guarantees were encashed to recover the money.
May I make the comment?
If you have to believe that this will be the first time, there will be book and brought.
India does not inspire much confidence in the people's mind. That is what I am trying to say.
Okay.
The history that we have since the Bofors time, it is not inspiring much confidence in our mind that the money will come back. You see, we are not very hopeful about the money being coming back.
As far as recovering the money is concerned, which is over the deal amount, because any crime, any proceeds of crime has to be recovered. It goes in the government.
No, you are wrong. My friend, you are wrong. This money was recovered because the deal was cancelled, because the deal was annulled. That's why the money was recovered.
Sir, what I'm saying is that the money we are talking about, some 350 crores which has been frozen, that wasn't the part of the deal. Yes. That was the kickback money. And now the enforcement directorate, if it wants, it has more powers.
That's the bribe money. Yes,
it has more powers under the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, and this money can be recovered and put in the government exchequers.
Okay. Yes, Monojit, you were making a point. Yes.
But we are dealing with the foreign nationals. How do you enforce them?
It doesn't matter, sir. It doesn't matter if the foreign national does not join the probe. It does not cooperate in the probe. Warrants are issued against him and he does not cooperate. An order from the court can ensure, irrespective of national or foreign national, the money can be recovered.
All right, Atir, let's play out that conversation. That in fact our reporter Shweta Kothari, when she reached Gautam Khaitan's office in Delhi for his version, but his manager told that Mr. Khaitan is in fact travelling, he's overseas and would not share his phone number. Listen in to the entire sequence of events.
Hi sir, Mr. Khaitan?
नहीं, वो तो है।
कहाँ है?
वो अभी आउट ऑफ दिल्ली है।
अच्छा, नंबर मिल पाएगा?
बोलिए ना।
नहीं सर, हमारे एक इम्पोर्टेंट स्टोरी अपडेट कर रहे हैं और हमें मिस्टर खैतान की बात चाहिए, उनसे बात करनी है, तो अगर आप बात कर पाएंगे।
नहीं, बात नहीं हो पाएगी, जब वो आएंगे तब कुछ होगा।
तो उनका फ़ोन नंबर दे दीजिए।
फ़ोन नंबर नहीं है, हमें
सर आप तो एम्प्लॉई हैं, फ़ोन नंबर
एम्प्लॉई हैं, लेकिन हम ऐसे नहीं दे सकते।
नहीं दे सकते? कहाँ है? दिल्ली में है, दिल्ली के बाहर?
दिल्ली से बाहर।
दिल्ली से बाहर कहाँ? कोई आइडिया?
अभी छुट्टी है ना, अभी तो छुट्टी है ना कोर्ट की।
अच्छा, छुट्टी पे नंबर नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि हमें उनकी इम्पोर्टेंट स्टोरी हमें कर रहे हैं।
आपकी बात को समझ रहे हैं।
हाँ जी।
वो नेक्स्ट मंथ में आएंगे। आप
कब तक आएंगे?
1-2 तारीख तक।
1-2 तारीख तक अगले महीने।
जब कोर्ट खुल जाएगी ना, जब भी आएगी।
यही बैठते हैं?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बिल्कुल यही बैठते।
अच्छा, अभी मतलब अभी नहीं है, आप कह रहे हैं? पक्का है कि नहीं है?
हाँ, बिल्कुल इंडिया में है।
हाँ जी।
नहीं, सॉरी, इंडिया में नहीं है, मतलब अभी छुट्टी पे है।
इंडिया से बाहर गए?
हाँ जी,
अच्छा,
बाहर गए।
चलिए, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
Alright, on that note, we do slip into a breather, but dear viewers, stay tuned. We come back with more exclusive and sensational revelations in the latest as far as the Agusta Westland scam is concerned. Stay tuned.